always just checking my volume. Let's see, all right, we're doing good. Hey Marianne, hey Tiffany. So don't be alarmed that I'm wearing glasses. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you'll know that I haven't been feeling great the past couple of weeks. And I think part of it has to do with my contacts. So it's probably throwing a lot of you guys off that I'm wearing glasses. But it's been making me feel better having them. So I switched, going to the eye doctor. Hopefully I can figure it all out. But in the meantime, nice Warby Parkers. So anyway, today's live stream, I want to talk about Disneyland because it's all that's on my mind lately. I have nine days until I'll be in the parks. So I've been doing a lot of like the last minute planning stuff. I don't know, it's just such a different experience, I think, than planning Disney World. And that's something that I actually did a video on recently, was feeling like Disneyland's so much more fly by the seat of your pants, like kind of plan your days, but you don't need to plan like your whole strategy out ahead of time, which is super weird for me, because I am used to that with Disney World, and I like that. I'm a big planner, so I kind of like planning everything out. So it's a little strange to me that it was like, it took forever for park hours to be posted and for show times to be posted, and for restaurants to be opened and all of that stuff. So M. Catrone says, any good dining plan for your Disneyland trip? So right now, the only reservation that we have is day one, which is, so we get there, I want to say hopefully we'll get into the parks around 12 or 1 o'clock because we're driving down from another area of California. And I'm meeting my good friend Keith Lappenig. He's going to be hanging out with us for the day. And we're doing dinner at Carthay Circle. I really wanted to do a nice dinner. I was kind of considering saving it for Blue Bayou, but I heard mixed things about the food there. That, like, it's nice scenery, but it's not great food. So I've heard better things about Carthay Circle, so we have dinner there with my friend Keith and his roommate and my husband, of course. Other than that, we don't have any other food stuff set in stone. I found out today that the Earl of Sandwich is reopening in downtown Disney on Monday, which is exciting because I love the Earl of Sandwich. I love the one in Disney World. I think it's like the perfect lunch option. So on the second day, we do Disneyland. So day one is California Adventure, day two is Disneyland. And we actually have tickets for Star Wars VR at 2 o'clock. I figured it'd be good to break the day since afternoon is so busy in the parks. We should just like leave at like 1 or like 12:45, take a break in downtown Disney. And I would love to go to Earl of Sandwich. My husband loves a really good sandwich, so I'm happy it's reopening. So I think we're going to do that and then do Star Wars VR and like have that be our midday break and then go back to the park, and then the park's open till like midnight. So it's like a really long day. But yeah, I'm really excited. But other than that, like, we don't have any other definitive dining. We have looked at like different bars that we might want to go to. I know for a while Trader Sam's had some work being done, but I think that they're open. And I know there's like some really cool bars somebody told me about in the Grand California, and I'm terrible with names of stuff in Disneyland because I've only been there once, so I apologize. And we love going, we're like bar hoppers here in New York. We love to like try a cocktail here, try a cocktail there. So we might do that one night. What rides are must-dos for this trip? That's a good question. So that, I feel like that's how I plan Disneyland. You can't really plan like day to day there because it's just not that kind of park. It's not the same as Disney World, but we're planning by, you know, the kind of rides that we want to ride and the ones that are the most important. And then everything else that happens after that is like, okay, you know, whatever we get to, we get to. So for California Adventure, number one, of course, is Radiator Springs Racers. I've been on it before. I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think my husband Peter will really like it. And we want to do Guardians of the Galaxy both daytime and nighttime, because daytime is the regular version and nighttime is Monsters After Dark. And everyone told me that one's really great, and it's almost like a sequel to the daytime version. So I feel like we need to see both. I would hate if we like missed the normal version and then only saw the evening version or something like that. So I'm gonna really try to see both. And then of course Incredicoaster. We're both big coaster fans. So I think that's the main draw in DCA. And so I feel not so bad about it being like a 3/4 of a day, because then we can just relax and get on things as we get on them. And of course, Paint the Night. Oh my gosh, Paint the Night is a must. That's been built into my schedule already. And then for Disneyland, I think the musts, I mean, Matterhorn's still gonna be down, which is such a bummer. But Indiana Jones, Space Mountain, Ghost Galaxy, of course, Haunted Mansion with the overlay. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I love Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, it might not be, I might not talk about it as much as Hunchback, but I really, really love that movie. And I've never seen the overlay. I've never watched it on YouTube. I know nothing. I'm going in completely blind. Same with Guardians of the Galaxy. I refused to look at anything of either of those rides, so I'm really excited. William Russo says, was Earl a sandwich? So they do, or they did have it in Disney World. I don't know if it was removed for Disney Springs, but it's basically a really good sandwich shop. They have a whole bunch of different options. There are more than just the ones in the Disney park areas. Like, there's a few around the country, but they're just known to be very good, and they're very, very popular. And so it's nice that it's coming back, because I think it's like that perfect lunch meal. So yeah, that was like big news today. I guess for people in Disneyland, the locals, that is big news. You know, you want your sandwich place back. What else? I mean, I think just planning for 2 days is tough. You know, I did this for my first trip, and I also went with Keith both days. And because he's a local, he knows how to really run us around and got us to ride all the rides. I plan to slow down a little bit more, because I feel like there's a lot of stuff I don't feel I need to do. Like, I feel like I could skip Alice in Wonderland. I did it last time. It was cool, but it's not, you know, I don't have to do it. Same thing with like Roger Rabbit. So I think when I can cut certain rides out like that, that's going to give us a lot of time. I do want to do Fantasmic. I didn't do it in my last trip. I've never seen the Disneyland Fantasmic. I hear it's infinitely better than Disney World, so I would like to see if that's actually true. I do want to see the fireworks as well. Last time I went, the only time I went was the 60th anniversary, so I saw the 60th anniversary fireworks, which, I mean, were pretty amazing. I feel like that was a high bar to set, but I do hear these fireworks are really good. I do know that it pulls some music from Wishes, which you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of, but I'm willing to watch it because I know it's different. I know it's not Wishes, so I would like to catch that as well. Julio says, are you going to do the Halloween party in California? Unfortunately, there is no Halloween party either day that I am there. We are there for Columbus Day weekend. There's probably a reason that they don't do that, because like, it's a big holiday weekend. I don't think they want to close down Disneyland early on either of those days, when they can have a lot of other crowds in. So there are no Halloween parties on either of the days that we're going. Otherwise, yeah, I would have totally found a way to fit that into the plans. And Control says, if you're happy with your hotel for your 2 days stay at Disney, let us know. We're hoping to go there in the next year or two. Will be the first trip to Disneyland for us. Yeah, we're staying at the Tropicana. Originally, we were staying at the Red Lion, which I think is about a 10-minute walk, which is like not really a big deal for us. We walk everywhere all the time here. But then I saw an opening for the Tropicana Inn and Suites, which is literally across the street. Like, you can literally get to the security on that side in like 5 minutes from the hotel. So pretty much the same price, pretty much the same amenities, like a 3-star hotel. It's nothing that special. One thing that I've complained about before is that because Disneyland is so small and they only have so many resorts, their resorts are so expensive. It's not like Disney World where you can get a really good deal on an All-Star and still be on property and then maybe pay like $100, $110 a night. The only thing that was available was the Grand Californian, and it was like, I kid you not, the only room available was like $700 a night. No thank you. Don't have that kind of money. So we're probably paying with tax $500 total for both nights at this other place. Maybe less, like 400 something, I think. And this is on a holiday weekend. So that's my biggest complaint. It's not very easy to stay on property at Disneyland, but at the flip side, you don't have to. Like, it's not like Disney World where it's so big, and if you stay off property, you're going to be so far away. Like, clearly not if I can walk 5 minutes from my hotel. So very, very different. Very, very different. Crystal Works says staying across the street is the best. We stay at the Best Western. Yeah, we were looking at that as well. I don't think there was rooms available. Like I said, Columbus Day weekend. So it's probably going to be crazy. I think that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to brace myself for is the crowds. When I went 3 years ago, we actually had some really good days crowds-wise, and all I have heard is that since then, Disneyland is just so crowded every single day. Like, there really isn't a down season at all. So knowing that we're going the Sunday and Monday, which is Columbus Day, I think I just have to brace myself, accept it. We're going to get Max Pass. We're going to do everything we can to make the best of being there at a crowded time. But I just really need to get myself in a mindset of, like, it's okay if we don't get to do some of the things we want to do. I mean, you got to kind of throw your hands up in the air and that's it. Fortunately, I'm going to D23 with Rob next year, which is so exciting. It's our first D23, and we're staying a while. Like, we are booked for, I want to say 7 or 8 days. So we're staying for D23 and beyond. So we will have plenty of park time. So I'm not too sad about it because I know I'm coming back to Disneyland pretty much next August. William Russo says, I have been to Disney World 4 times, but my family drives to save money. Do you think we should take a longer trip at Disney World or maybe a 1 or 2 day at Disneyland? We have never been. I don't know where you're located. So, like, I don't know if the drive to Disney World is shorter or Disneyland is shorter. I think that if you've never been to Disneyland, you should go. Obviously I didn't go until 3 years ago, so I spent most of my life only going to Disney World, and I will be honest, I was cynical. Like, I totally appreciate the fact that it is the park that Walt built, but I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, and it is lovely, and it's such a different vibe, and I don't even like to compare the two because I think they're just very different experiences, but Disneyland is just so lovely, and I think if you've never been, but you are a Disney fan, you owe it to yourself to go. So I would say go for those couple of days for sure. Let's see. There was Saturday, low crowds one time. I mean, I believe that, Fernando, and thank you. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are random low days. There have been, like, people who have been there recently are like, oh my God, there's, like, nobody here today. But I think for the most part, it's really hard to find a low crowd day at Disneyland. RCT3 says, all I'm going to do is do Monsters After Dark. Yes, we're trying to do both. We're trying to, because I've never seen the regular Gardens of the Galaxy ride. So I want to experience that, and then I want to experience Monsters After Dark. So I don't know how we're going to do that. I guess that means waiting in line if we can't get Max Passes. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. But I definitely want to do both. Tiffany says, I live in California and I love it. Where do you live in California? So our trip is not just Disneyland. We're not going to Disneyland for 2 days and then going home. So we're going to a wedding. And then, so yes, next Friday we fly out. We have a wedding on Saturday. We go drive down to Disneyland Sunday, Monday. And then we drive down to San Diego, which both of us have never been to. And I'm really excited about that. I am a zoo person. I'm an animal person through and through. Probably why I like Animal Kingdom so much. So I'm so pumped to spend an entire day at the San Diego Zoo. I've wanted to go there my whole life, like since I was a kid. We're going to be staying by the water. We're going to check out the Coronado Resort, which is the resort in San Diego that is basically what the Grand Floridian is inspired by. It looks exactly, or really the Grand Floridian, I should say, looks exactly like the Coronado Resort in San Diego. So I'm excited to check that out and do a video for you guys on that, because I just find that really fascinating. We're going to be checking out La Jolla. We're going to be all over the place because we'll have a rental car. So it's going to be a really fun trip. Let's see. I'm controlling the fact that you don't need to work so much travel time in with buses, monorails, boats is such a draw for me. I totally agree. Like being able to cross the street, be there in 5 minutes. I don't have to plan that a bus is going to take me 20 minutes, but I might have to wait 20 minutes on top of that for it to come. Like, I totally agree that it's a lot less stressful. I think it's also easier to take midday breaks. You want to just go back to your hotel. Even if you're driving, a lot of the hotels aren't more than a 15-minute drive or so. Like, so much easier to hop in a car and then go take a break, or just walk to your hotel and take a break than it is in Disney World. Like, sometimes the reasons I don't take a break is because it just seems so far away. I'm just like, I could get on the bus in the Magic Kingdom and go all the way back to, I don't know, French Quarter and take a nap or stay by the pool. But that travel time in front and after for the break is just like so much. Like, you lose so much part time. So yeah, I agree. The smallness of Disneyland and that whole area is kind of great. Rob Fuzz, thank you for joining, everybody. Rob Fuzz, one of our moderators, and also has a great channel. So you should check that out. Crystal Work says, you'll love San Diego, my hometown, lots to see and do. Yeah, I'm really excited. I love checking out other cities. I live here in New York. I know what city life here is like. I love checking out other cities and like what that vibe is like, for sure. Tiffany says, I've done both. Are you going to the safari park? I don't think we had time to do this. So we're talking about San Diego Zoo, just to diverge. I don't think we're going to have time to do the safari park because I've heard that like both really deserve a good amount of time dedicated. And so we really do want like a day to do like the beach. We want a day to do maybe some other museums. So maybe if we can fit it in, but I don't want to like do it and kind of like half-ass it because we didn't have a lot of time. Let's see. Fernando says, World and Land are different. I like Disney World because it's my local park. I mean Disneyland because I'm like 35-minute drive. Went to the World first time, March 2018. My sister rents a house. That's a great way to go to Disney World, is to rent a house or a villa. If you got like a big family, it's a good way to do it. Balboa Park, yes, we're going to Balboa Park, which is the big park in San Diego that has all the museums and all of that there. Definitely on the list. Like, we're going to spend a whole bunch of time in like Gaslamp District proper, get some good food, all that stuff. William Russo says, why do you think that Disney keeps putting new same rides in both Disneyland and Disney World? Those are the two closest parks, and it seems better to put them on different sides of the globe. Do you mean like copies? Like, are we talking like Star Wars Land, Star Wars Land? I think that, and this is me just pulling this out of my butt. I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I presume that Disneyland and Disney World still makes the most money for them parks-wise than the international ones. And so to me, it makes sense to just have more of that draw. I think a lot of people still see Disney World as like the park to go to, so it's always gonna get that like really big new stuff. But at the same time, I mean, international parks have such cool, like they have a lot of Marvel stuff, which obviously they can. There's less of a legal issue there. You guys know what I'm talking about, Universal thing. But I mean, they do have plenty of other stuff I think that's really interesting. But I think that they do it on both coasts because, there's going to be the people on the west side who are going to always go to, Disneyland because it's closer. There's going to be people on the east coast that always go to Disney World because it's closer. And they're two parks that make them so much money, so it kind of makes sense. Oh, Critical Reviews, love the glasses. Yeah, I know. So Critical Reviews, you guys should check his channel out. He has a great podcast and among a million other great videos that they do. We just did an episode together. It went out today talking about Disney, talking about Marvel and DC and movies and video games. It was a blast. So if you want to see me talk about things other than Disney, I know that's strange, you should go check out his channel. M. Catron says, how are you feeling about the Illuminations news? I'm a little sad. I mean, I talked a little bit about it on the TTA this week. Like, I knew it was coming. We knew it was coming, right? We kept talking about this rumor for more than a year now, maybe a couple of years now. Like, so it's not surprising. I'm not shocked that Illuminations is going away. But you guys know, I've talked about this before. I have very fond memories of it, especially with my mother, who unfortunately passed quite a number of years ago. But and because of that, I have a really good emotional attachment to it. But I understand that things have to change and we need to move on. I am eager to hear when the final show date is going to be, because I want to try to get to Disney World for it. I've never really done that with a lot of the other rides or anything, tried to go there for closing days. But for Illuminations just means a lot to me. So hopefully it won't overlap with like D23, because they're saying end of summer 2019 is when Illuminations is wrapping up. Even if I just flew down for like a quick 3-day trip, I was presuming I would still have like an annual pass at the time. I really want to see the last show. I feel like it's gonna be something really, really special. Let's see. I'm falling behind on your questions, guys. Sorry. It just scrolls and it goes so fast. Okay. Will you and Rob also potentially bring back Disneyland versus Disney World once you have been on more Disneyland rides? Good question. So yeah, I'm going next week, and then Rob's going at the end of October. It's such a bummer. So he's going, they're also going for like another reason, I think, and then, you know, building in Disneyland, and it's such a bummer that our vacations didn't overlap. I got very excited at first when he was like, I'm going in October, and I was like, I'm going in October, and then we realized it was like 3 weeks apart. But good point, and I will talk to him about it, because I feel like we'll have more fresh experiences in our mind. I would love to do Disneyland versus Disney World again. That really got a rise out of a lot of people, so I would totally love to do that again. It probably would end up on my channel, just because his channel is so different now. But yeah, I'll pitch it to him. M. Catron says, are you going to the Mickey True Original exhibit in New York in November? Yes, I am. We have tickets. I can't remember what date it is because I'm terrible. But Rob and I believe Rob's girlfriend Kat are going. Of course we're going. How could we pass that up? It'll probably be a double vlogging situation, so that'll be fun. When I can figure out the date, because I don't know it, because Rob bought the tickets, I'll let you guys know, the people who are in the New York area who might be going, and if you're going on the same day, maybe you'll catch us. Human Person says, will you do the Animation Academy at California Adventure? I did it last time because I was so bummed that they closed it in Disney World a few years ago. It was one of my favorite things to do. So we actually sat and did it last time. We drew Minnie Mouse, but Minnie Mouse with the little like flower pot hat on her head. I love that whole building. I definitely want to like walk through it again. I think it's amazing, and super, super fun. And I think because we only have like 3 rides in DC that we're like really trying to get on, we're gonna have a lot of other time. So yeah, we're gonna check it out. Rob Fuzz says, what are you most excited to see in Disneyland? The Halloween stuff. Oh my gosh, I think about it and I get so excited. Like, you guys, one of these days I need to like do a like video that like is a compilation of all my past like costumes and stuff, because I go all out, and so does my brother. He actually lives in my neighborhood, and he's known for sorry, I can't talk today. He is known for the decorations outside of his house, and he throws this amazing party every single year. We are both big lovers of it. So I am so pumped to see California all Halloweened out. I mean, I've seen obviously Disney World, but I feel like the only thing they do in Disney World on Halloween is Magic Kingdom, really, right? Like, it doesn't seem to touch the other parks as much, whereas the way Disneyland seems to me for Halloween is like Both parks, super immersed. I actually saw somebody post this video on Twitter today that was like in Cars Land, right around sunset, when they turn on the Halloween lights. It's actually like this little thing that they do. They like play these voices of the characters and like music over the speakers of like, it's Halloween time and we're turning this into whatever they call Cars Land for Halloween. They all have like cute names for that stuff. And it looks so cool. It was like such a cool little moment. Making a big deal out of the Halloween decorations. So I'm just, oh gosh, I'm gonna be in heaven, like literally gonna be in heaven. Let's see, PK421, thank you for joining the stream. Hey Christine, I'll be in LA for a conference around the same time, but I'll probably make it to Disneyland that following week. How is Peter, it's my husband, handling the planned trip to Disneyland? So I actually outed him on the Critical Reviews podcast, and which it was great to see you too, Jimmy. Thank you for stopping in. And again, check out his channel because we just did a podcast episode together and it's great. I outed him because the other day I said to him something about the trip and being excited. And he was like, you know, I'm kind of excited about going to Disneyland. Don't tell anyone though. And I was like, well, obviously now I need to tell everybody so you all know. My husband is excited about Disneyland. He's never been. So Disney World he went to when he was a kid before the time I took him. He has never been to Disneyland. And I've kind of tried to describe the differences to him and he's looking forward to it. And he's very pumped about Star Wars VR. That was one of the ways I knew how to reel him in. Like I know the certain things he likes. So I knew, let's do Star Wars VR, even though I've done it twice, but I love it, because I know he's really going to like that. We're going to get Max Pass because we want to make it as easy of a experience as possible. Like, we'll definitely have a nice dinner because I know he loves good food, so that's why we're doing Carthay Circle. So I think when you're going with someone who's not, like, the biggest fan of this stuff, you have to cater to, like, what they enjoy. And come to sort of a compromise, but he's doing good. I mean, it's only 2 days, so I think he's fine with that. Tiffany Johnson says, hey Christine, love your channel. Thank you, and thank you for being here. It's so great to see so many people on a Friday afternoon. I was a little worried because I know school's back in session, people are working. Some of you are working and watching. Shh, I won't tell anybody. The day might change soon because my schedule's changing soon, such as the life of a freelancer. But I'm glad to see everybody here on a Friday. Let's see. We got the overlays on rides. Tiffany says DCA and Disneyland's decorated both. Yeah, I think that's so great. I think that's one thing that Disney World is super lacking when it comes to Halloween. Let's see. Katron says, my family and I went to our first Mickey Not So Scary Halloween party last month and it was awesome. Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite things to do. I haven't been in a number of years and I want to change that. Maybe next year. Maybe next year will be the year I do another one back in Disney World. Human Person says, I think the lights usually turn on around 7:30. Last time I asked a cast member at least. Yeah, when I talked to the person who posted the video, I wish I knew who it was off the top of my head. They were like, sundown was like the answer that they got, which makes sense, right? You want to like wait until it gets dark enough. But I'll make sure I ask when we go because I want to catch it. It was like really, really cool. PK421 says, so happy Peter is on board. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think the key to a happy relationship is embracing what each other loves, even if it's not necessarily something that you love. Though I will admit that I do push back on football a lot. I hate football, and I hate that it's football season. He's a really big New York Giants fan. I mean, obviously, we're in New York, so there you go. I guess this is a Giants household. I hate football, but he's been so good about Disney. I'm trying to be better about football. So there it is. Human Person, what reservations do you have planned? I talked about this a little bit earlier. We only have one right now, which is Carthay Circle. I'm saying I'm excited. Earl Sandwich apparently is opening back up downtown Disney, so I think we're gonna do a lunch break there to get away from crowds. At one point, I don't know what we're doing for dinner in Disneyland. I've been toying with the idea of doing a Fantasmic dinner package. I don't know where. Like, I'm at such a loss with food in Disneyland, so I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do, if we'll do another reservation or not. Fernando says, I sweated in that VR void. It's crazy. If you guys have not done the VR, I think it's a fantastic experience. But especially for me, and I'm kind of little. I'm like 5'2", maybe like 100, I don't even know, 15, 16 pounds. And then you got to put on this like helmet and this backpack that like carries basically like the computer that has like the VR running. And you don't realize how heavy it is because like you clip on the vest, but everything's kind of hanging. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, we're going to unclip it. And then they unclip it and then you're just like, and it's like so heavy. Which is probably part of the reason why you only do it for like, the whole experience is probably 15 or 20 minutes because it is heavy and it does get a little hot in there. But it's so fun. Tiffany says, have you seen the fireworks for the party? It's brand new. Are we talking about the Disneyland one? I haven't watched any of like the Halloween party stuff, but I should, and I want to. Like I said, there's no party happening the dates that were there, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would go. But I will look up those fireworks for sure. I mean, Hallowishes was always one of my favorite things in Disney World. So, the Song of Spring says, hi, Christine. I've been loving your channel and the TTA pod since I discovered both a few months ago. Thank you. Are there any Disneyland Halloween treats you're excited to try? Ooh, all of them? No, apparently there's a million different kinds of churros, so that's one thing. I remember I really looked up the menu. There was like a list and it was like, here are all the treats. It's like absurd. It's like an astronomical amount of Halloween treats, but there are a whole bunch of churros. I love churros, so definitely those. And then I don't even know off the top of my head. I feel like I'm going to be very open to eating poorly while I'm at Disneyland, just because there's just so much. It's just an absurd amount of sugar. So I'm really excited for all of that. I'm also really excited to get some Dole Whips in my belly again. You guys know how I feel about those things. I've been told to get the beignets. I've had real beignets. I say real, but I mean like beignets in New Orleans before, so I know what they should taste like. So I would like to try the beignets in Disneyland and see if they hold up. Beignets are great, so I'm gonna definitely try those. Fernando says, when I first went to Disney World, I didn't see a churro cart. Is that a California thing? So they both have them. There's actually one, and I know this because I've gotten churros many times, in Magic Kingdom. It is like, I'm trying to think. Teacups are here, and then you're going towards Storybook Circus. There is a cart that sells churros, but I don't think that that's like as, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's as advertised or talked about. Like, I feel like Disneyland is like owns the churros. I don't know why. It's just like that's their food thing. And I think there's a lot more options too in Disneyland. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're also bigger, I think, over there. M. Catrone says, thanks for hanging out with us today. You're welcome. Thank you for hanging out with me. I should be thanking you. Like, I am just a person who sits and talks about Disney, and yet you guys are here talking with me, and I find that incredible all the time. So thank you. It's really cheered me up because, like I was saying, I have not been feeling super great the past week, like just health-wise. And like being able to hang out with you guys just put me in such a good mood. So thank you. RCT3 is Epic says, do you ever watch Some Jerk with a Camera? If not, he's basically a nostalgia critic for Disney and Universal Parks. Is that really his name, Some Jerk with a Camera? That's actually kind of funny. No, I've never heard of him. So I'll have to check that out. Ashley S., thank you for joining the stream. Went to my first Halloween party on Sunday at Disney World. It was amazing. I mean, that's what everyone's been saying, that it's great. I have heard, like, that they're getting more and more crowded. Like, people are saying, like, it feels like they're selling more tickets. I don't know how true that is. You could tell me if you felt like it was overcrowded or not. Because, again, I haven't been to a Halloween party probably since 2015, 2016. So it's been a while, but I would really like to do that. The Song of Spring says, make sure to get the beignets in downtown Disney at Ralph's Jazz Kitchen. They're not Mickey shaped like the ones in the park, but they're more similar to authentic New Orleans beignets. Good to know. I assume Ralph's Jazz Kitchen in general is like New Orleans style food, which I love. So maybe we'll check that out one day. Fernando says, I think my next Disney thing is to try a 3-day cruise. So I was really tempted, you guys. So Keith Planinng, who is a cast member, he gets cast member rates, but they're for very specific dates. Like you really can't just like go on any cruise. And he was pitching me one for this November. And there's a part of me that wants to do it, going out of New York too, which would be awesome. Going from New York to Castaway Cay, and then I think a day in Disney World, and then you'd have to like fly back or something, or you can stay on the boat and I think go back to New York. And I can't justify the cost, like just because I'm doing Disneyland and then we're doing Disney World for like 7 or 8 days in January. But oh my god, I want to do a cruise so bad, and Keith wants to kill me because I'm always like maybe and he's like, I'm just gonna go without you. One of these days I'm gonna do it. I'm sure a lot of you guys watch Michael K, great channel, and he does a lot of cruises, and that's what made me want to do a cruise. And now Rob's doing one in January. He tagged it onto the end of the trip. I'm so jealous of everyone doing cruises. One of these days I'm gonna get on one. M. Catron says, make the cruise a first anniversary trip for November. Oh my gosh, my husband would kill me. That was the other thing. I was like, what days are these? Because, I got to celebrate my anniversary. And then Keith was like, ugh, married life. And I was like, oh, okay, let me just skip my anniversary. Sorry, Peter, I'm spending my anniversary with Keith on a cruise. I hope you understand. No, he would kill me. I don't know if I'll ever it's kind of sad, but I feel like, well, maybe when we have kids, but I feel like I'll never get to Disney on my birthday because my birthday is the day after our wedding day. So we got married November 18th, which is Mickey's birthday. Hey, not on purpose. That was not planned. And then my birthday is November 19th. And so I feel like if I want to go for my birthday, it would also be like going for the anniversary. And I don't know how he would feel about that. But maybe if we had kids and we were bringing kids, I could convince him. I don't know. Just a thought. Ashley says, I went on a Sunday night. Oh, we're talking about Not So Scary. Just to preface. Went on a Sunday night, so it was pretty empty, and we got to see Gunpowder Pete on Pirates. It was great. Oh yeah, I forgot they were doing live people on Pirates, which like blew my mind. That was like a new thing this year, right? I would love to hear people's thoughts on the live people on rides, because I think that is such a neat thing. Yeah, it's so neat. M. Catron says, I went to Not So Scary on a Tuesday in August, and crowds weren't bad. So weird to say like you're going to Not So Scary on in August. Like I get it. I get that they're extending, the holiday, and I love Halloween, but like August, Halloween, a little strange. But okay, I mean that's good to know. So maybe weeknights or like Sunday nights are the way to go. I feel like a Friday or Saturday is probably really busy for the parties. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, what else? Opening up to any sort of Q&A. If you guys have questions about planning for Disney World, I'm on it. If you guys have questions for me about my plans for Disneyland, ask away. I've got about another 15 minutes or so before I have to go do life stuff, which is whatever. Life. I wish I could just live in the parks all day, and that was my life. Fernando says, my friend said, there's a guy that's been on all the cruise boats, like Carnival and Princess. He said Disney Cruise was the best and the best customer service. I 100% believe that. I've only been on one cruise in my life. It was a Holland America cruise. I went with my mom and my grandma, which was a blast. I think it was like 12 days, 14 days. It was a long trip. And I mean, cruises in general, I think, are fantastic. I would love to go on another one. Disney is definitely, it doesn't surprise me if people say, like, they're the best experience. They're also one of the most expensive cruise lines, period, which does make it hard for me to justify going. just because I know, okay, well, I could still go on a cruise for less money. I don't know. But I do want to do it. I do want to do it. Tiffany says, my friend and I are going in 2020 to Disney World, and we were saving up for that. Well, now is definitely the time to plan. 2020 is going to be big. I mean, 2019, we got Star Wars Land, and then, they're already doing all that work on the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster. I mean, there's a lot changing, so I feel like by the time you get there, there's going to be some neat stuff to see. Ashley says, maybe go to Aulani for your 1 year. Ooh, I like that. I mean, we're not going anywhere for 1 year anniversary, just because we're traveling next month, and then I'm traveling in January. And he can't with work, like he's pretty much getting towards the ends of his vacation days. So instead, I mean, we live in New York, right? There's plenty to do here. So we are going to find one of the fanciest restaurants in the city, go dressed to the nines all out, and just do that. And then, I don't know, maybe go out to a comedy show after or something like that. So we'll be staying local, but we're still going to try to just do it up, in a way that we don't normally do on our day to day. So, RCT3 is epic, says they used to have real actors in the Haunted Mansion, mainly just the night that would jump scare guests. They took him out because people would assault him with churros and other projectiles, including fists. I don't know if fists count as projectiles because they're attached to you, but William Russo says, what is the difference between Pop and the other All-Stars? My family can now fit in a 4-people room because my sister will be in the DCP college program. What is the difference, and would you pay it? Pop, okay. Now I feel like they're almost kind of similar. Back in the day when Pop first opened, I actually stayed there the first year it opened, and it was a big deal just because it was newer. So it just felt nicer. And the rooms are slightly bigger than the All-Stars, but the design's very much the same. It wasn't that there's anything super drastic. I think the food courts are better at Pop than at the All-Stars, so I guess it's not saying much. They're okay, guys. The food courts at the All-Stars and the values in general are okay. Now it is the first one that has the all new renovated rooms. Like, it's complete. So if you choose to stay there, you're going to guarantee yourself a nice new room. They just finished that. I actually have a tour of the one that I stayed in on my channel. If you search Pop tour, room tour, you'll find it on my channel. So if you wonder what that looks like, and they're starting to roll them out in the All-Stars now. I saw somebody just post, I think it was like movies. They're starting to get the redesign as well. But if you definitely want one, book Pop. Also, Pop has its own dedicated bus. The All-Stars, depending on the time of year, sometimes share a bus. And if that's something that you want to avoid, then you also wouldn't want to stay at the All-Stars. But they're all kind of in the same area. Like, it's not like one is any closer to certain parks or anything like that. I think in the end, All-Stars really feel dated. And Pop, especially now with the renovations, feels really nice and new. And might be a little bit more comfy for you guys. So that's just what I'm thinking. Let's see. Basia says, I'm staying there in 58 days at Pop. Damien does. Disney says, be sure to ride Guardians Monsters After Dark. You were the third person to say. Now I know I need to do it because I have so many people saying I need to ride it. I know, but I need to ride the original version first, and then I will do that because I've never done either. William Russo says, if you could stay in any resort in Disney World, which would it be? Easy, Polynesian. I've stayed there before for two nights. Which barely felt like anything. It was like at the end of a trip, right? Upgraded for a couple of nights. I would like to do like a whole week there. I really would. It's my favorite. It's just, I love it. I just love the decor. I love the restaurants. I love, I don't know, everything about it. So if I could stay there for an entire week, that would be like my dream vacation, 100%. All right. Well, I'm going to be wrapping up here in the next 5-ish minutes. So if you have any other last minute questions to send my way, I will rapid fire answer them. Damien Does Disney says, both are way better than Tower of Terror. That's what I hear, you know. I was one of those people who also was like, oh my gosh, you're changing Tower of Terror. It's such a classic. What are you doing? And now I'm hearing nothing but Guardians of the Galaxy is so good. And I'm going in blind. I refuse to watch videos of it. I know nothing. I know the very big story. That's it. Like, I know why you're there, and that's pretty much it. I also know that there's a rocket animatronic. That's all I know. So it's going to be really exciting for me. Ashley says, do you have a Disney World trip coming up as well? I do. That will be with Rob and a few of our other good friends. I believe there's a total of 6 of us. It will be January 4th to the 10th. We're staying at Riverside. I've only ever stayed at French Quarter, so I'm excited to stay Riverside. I have a very good friend of mine coming. She was one of my bridesmaids. She was one of my roommates, very close. She has not been to Disney World in 15 years, so I'm very excited to run her around. She's only coming 3 days, though, of the week that we're there, so I'm trying to plan the most efficient 3-day plan for someone who hasn't been in 15 years. That could be another good live stream topic maybe next month or something like that, because it's not easy, let me tell you. Let's see. Our CT3 is Epic says, if you could go to the remaining 4 Disney parks if you haven't been to yet, what order would you do them in? I would do them in, I think Disneyland Paris first because it's closer and probably the easiest one for me to actually plan. And I've been like, every once in a while I look like flights and all of that. So probably Disneyland Paris first because I did the flight all the way to China like this year and it is long and I need a couple years before I do that. And then I probably would do Japan next, and then I would do the 2 in China, I think that's the order I would do them. Disneyland Paris I really would like to get to in the next like 2 to 3 years. That's a really real plan that I'm trying to have. Tiffany says, Tower of Terror still open at Hollywood Studios? Yes, it is. We still have it. How long that will be for, who knows? I mean, Disney right now pays for the rights to use Tower of Terror over there. I'm sure it'll change sometime eventually as well. Hi, Lion. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Unfortunately, I'm wrapping up in the next couple of minutes. But if anyone has missed part of this live stream, as always, I upload afterwards once it all gets sort of processed. It takes a little bit, and then you can catch up on what you missed. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up. I'm so excited. I can't believe I'm going to be in Disneyland in like, I don't know, 9 days. 9 days. So crazy. I'm going to wrap up, but thank you for tuning in. Thank you for not making fun of my glasses. I'm kidding. And I really, really appreciate you guys spending your Friday afternoon hanging out with me. What? That's so weird. That's so weird. You guys are so great. Anyway, as always, have a great rest of the day. Bye.